Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Cherisher, nourisher, and the sustainer of the world, peace and salutation be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to welcome you to our special interview session on the topic, the G20 Summit. Today, we'll be speaking with experts and leaders from all over the world that facing problems of G20 Summit.
Okay, let's dive in. We have our chief guest, Mr. Yamin. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
To kick things off, can you tell us more about G20?
It's very simple. G20 is a club of countries where they meet and discuss the economical and political issues. The G20 countries account for the 85% of the global economical output and 75% of the world trade. And it contains two-thirds of the world's population. Including European Union, the G20 countries are Argentina, Australia, Canada, China, Italy, Indonesia, India, France, Germany, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, United Kingdom and United States. Some of these countries meet as Global 7. These are major leading industrialized countries.
That's a great overview. Thank you for sharing that. You are really let out the key purpose and significance of the G20. Sir, now could you elaborate on why was G20 was established the first and what makes it such an important forum in today's global economy?
Definitely. The G20 group was founded in 1999 after the Asian economical crisis. It was designed to be a forum for financial ministers and other officials to discuss how to recover the economical stability. The first Leaders Summit was held in 2008 in response to that year's economical turmoil and to promote international cooperation. In recent years, the G20 has broadened its focus, including climate change and sustainable energy. And every year, a different G20 member takes presidency and sets a new agenda for Leaders Summit.
Thank you, sir. As you said that the G20 has certainly made some impressive progress over the year. You have highlighted some of the most notable achievements. But could you dig a bit deeper into the impact that the G20 has had on global economic stability and growth?
Okay. Without criticizing Russia, the G20 leaders made a joint declaration condemning human suffering caused by conflict in Ukraine and highlighted the impact it had on global food and energy security. And the Ukrainian government said it is nothing to be proud of, and the Ukrainian president would have elaborately defined the problems Ukraine had faced. And in this summit, the G20 members asked African Union to become a permanent member.
Sir, you have indicated in your achievement that African Union, G20 are invited African Union to become the permanent member. Why G20 needed African Union?
Definitely, there are several benefits for G20. The African Union represent interest of 54 countries in Africa, many which have significant potential for economic growth and development. African Union can provide valuable perspectives on the unique challenges and opportunities facing by the world. It can also play a crucial role in promoting democracy, human rights, and good governance in Africa. By working with African Union, the G20 can foster stronger relationship between African countries and the rest of the world, and it can lead for greater global stability and prosperity.
Sounds good. Here's the next question. You have mentioned some of the success of the G20, but it's also worth discussing the challenges too.
Some of the thorniest issue the G20 facing are climate change, especially the US are pushing forward emission reduction target, while India and China are being cautious. And trade tension. The US and China has been locked in a trade war for several years, and now the G20 members are being in the crossfire. Migration and refugees. This issue, how to handle the influx of migrants and refugees in Europe, is one of the major challenges the G20 are facing. Some countries like US want more rule-based internal order, while others prefer ad hoc approach.
Okay, here's the real deal. Giving the security risks inherent to a gathering of world leaders. What specific security measures are put in place to ensure the safety of attendees and the surrounding area?
The G20 summit is basically a giant fortress of security. Special units are often deployed to provide an external layer of security, especially for high-profile attendees like US President. Airspace around the summit venue is typically restricted, with no fly zone in place to prevent unauthorized aircraft from entering the area. Communication systems are closely monitored to prevent hacking or interception of sensitive information. The local population is also impacted with temporary road closure and restricted access to certain areas.
And with that, we have reached the end of our G20 security deep dive. Here, we could wrap things. Well, it's clear that security is major concern at the G20 summit, and it takes an impressive amount of coordination and planning to pull it off. Thank you for sharing your insights into the security measures involved and making the G20 safe and successful event. It's been a fascinating conversation. Thank you, sir. And here, thanks to all our who are gathered here. And here we wind up. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.